Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Pranzata Podcast. This is your host, Andrea Pranzatelli. This is episode number 163 on the Pranzata Podcast here on YouTube. We have a returning guest today. This is his third appearance on the podcast. This is Philly stand-up comedian Albert Davis. Hello, everybody.
What's up?
I have some good questions prepared for him today, a little bit about fitness, a little bit philosophy, life experience. So we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to start with the fitness question.
Okay, you're gonna softball it in there with some easy stuff.
I start with the easy one, so stick around for the more difficult questions. Because it is the new year, it is 2026, I am really motivated to put a lot of work into my fitness and nutrition. You're somebody you're in your 40s now, right?
Yeah, I'll be 42 on Monday.
He's 42. I've been following him on Instagram for years. You know, he was on my podcast in 2020 or 2021. He's always been in shape. An in shape man in his 40s in Philadelphia is very rare. That's a rare find.
That's a unicorn for sure.
So if somebody came to you today, a younger man or a man your age struggling to stay consistent with their fitness, what would you advise them? What has helped you stay consistent with your fitness and nutrition over the years?
Oh, great question. Well, if someone asked me what's helped me stay motivated, I think like I'm not a still body. You know what I mean? Like I don't sit still very well.
Yeah.
As you'll probably see as I'm sitting here, I'm going to move around a lot of stuff. I have to be moving. I have to be doing something. I have like ADHD, like really bad ADHD.
Okay.
And that balancing of the energy helps me balance my brain.
Okay.
So like if I go like 4 or 5 days without working out, my life is kind of like upside down. Like I'm losing shit. I don't get stuff done. And so it's always been a balancing act when it comes to that. We're going to ask me something?
I was going to say, so if I'm understanding correctly, for you, it's not even a motivational thing. It's just something that your body needs to stay
like
normal.
almost like a therapy. Yeah, exactly. To keep me balanced. Yeah, my wife's the same way. If we go a long enough time without training, and we met in a gym. I don't know if you know that.
I do remember that. You told me on the first podcast.
Some days I'll be like, hey, you need to go to the gym. Like we don't need to argue. You just need to go to the gym. And then, but it is a balancer because you live in a world where you receive a lot of stress.
Right.
You need an outlet. Some people make music. You make music, right? Some people make art. You make art as well.
Yeah.
Some people, most people have a release.
Yeah.
For me, the release is a gym. So it's always been very easy to be like, I'm going to go to the gym.
So in a way, it's like your drug.
There's an addiction. There's absolutely an addiction.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it doesn't even have to be in a negative sense, but people do things to stabilize their moods. It's like a antidepressant or like smoking weed. You know what I mean?
I think it's the most underutilized antidepressant.
Yeah.
I think if you went to a doctor and you told him all your problems and he said, why don't you just go work out for like 60 to 90 minutes a day, come back to me in 3 weeks and tell me how you feel. That person would probably lose all their patience and their license because they'd be like, you're not practicing. But they would also probably have a very high success rate. Yeah. Because I think that's what a lot of people are lacking. So that's how it keeps me motivated. I'm a father, so I know that someone's watching me and I want to be around for that. That keeps me motivated. Now, if someone were to ask me the key, what I would tell everybody, it's like the stock market. Mm-hmm. Just make a plan, stick to it. Don't try to get rich in one day. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to find a shortcut. Pick your funds, pick your strategy, deposit what you're going to deposit. Don't keep on looking at it and checking it, right? The scale. Yeah. Just pick a plan. And then in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, look how far you've come. You know, it's like, because when you're investing money or doing your 401k or whatever, when you forget about it and then you look like 3 years later, you're like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. Because you didn't micromanage it. You just let it ride.
I would have to 100% agree with that because I've been thinking about that myself. I have to kind of recalibrate and get back into fitness this year because I had health issues last year that made it impossible for me to work out. I was fainting frequently and I had to get a deviated septum surgery. Oh. So I started thinking about how to be healthy and fit in the long term. And I kind of realized, to add on to what you said, it's a long game. It's not a short-term fix. So for me, my nutrition was everything last year. I couldn't get to the gym, but that didn't mean I just let myself fall apart and gain 100 pounds. It was like, okay, in this year's season of my fitness, I have to think long-term. Right now, I physically can't get to the gym, but there are things I can do to support my body right now as I'm healing this health issue and I'm getting surgery and I'm healing from that. So it's a long game. Like, you know what I mean? It's if you start putting in the work, you might not see, and you're starting from zero, you might not really see the physical, benefits of your fitness routine for at least 3 to 6 months. Yeah,
that's very possible. But so a couple things, you may not see it, other people may see it.
Yeah.
Other people may also just experience it. Like maybe you didn't lose the 40 pounds, but now you're just in a good mood consistently.
Right.
That's a fair exchange, right? That's pretty good. Now you're happy more. You're sleeping better. Okay, so there's some good stuff, but also it is I don't think it ever really starts and ends. Like for me, it doesn't really start and end. I gotta go January 1st or middle of the summer. It's just how I've committed to live my life. So, and I also, I do martial arts and mostly jujitsu and stuff like that. But that also is good because I'm in part of a community of people who are working and trying to get better at something. Yeah. And you don't walk in there to get in good shape. But if you go in there and you train consistently week after week, you're going to get in pretty decent shape. And
I tried martial arts 2 years ago.
Which one?
My fitness regimen is just weightlifting solo, but I tried one in this area, not the one you go to. I don't want to name names because I'm going to insult it. But it's
what not, martial art was it? Jiu-jitsu? Was it Muay Thai?
It was jiu-jitsu. Okay. Yeah, but it wasn't the one you go to. There's plenty in this area.
There's probably one right there. There's the one I go to is right down the street.
Yeah. So I went to another one. There's multiple down the street in this area. So I guess it's a trending thing, martial arts right now. But I couldn't last more than 3 sessions for multiple reasons. One, I thought it was a cult.
It's very cult-like. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was a cult. And I don't necessarily think that's a negative thing. I think just my studio that I went to in particular had a more egotistic leader that was discouraging.
See, when we get off the air, I got to find out where you went. I'm definitely
I will fill you in, but I don't want to say anything publicly. But I do think the cult-like environment can be a positive thing because it creates community. I just think in this particular situation, it was a negative thing. I also, as a female, didn't feel comfortable. I felt like my tits were just falling in everybody's face. Yeah, I just felt like that. It was I didn't like the smells. There was a lot of body odors.
Yeah, they're not historically like a desire, boxing gyms are historically pretty not desirable places to be. Martial arts gyms are getting nicer, but they're going to smell. There's sweat. There's sometimes blood.
I have a keen sense of smell, so I could smell garlic or
coffee.
Coffee's not bad, but just certain smells. I
hate stinky breath.
I'm very I brush my teeth all the time.
Yeah, mouthwashing and shit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not dissing jiu-jitsu. It's just I didn't have a good go of it for me. I wasn't very good at it either.
Yeah.
It was very unnatural.
Nothing's for everybody, right? Yeah. So it just wasn't for you.
But weightlifting has been for me, though.
Weightlifting is great. That'll keep you aging.
Do you do any weightlifting, or is
I lift weights too.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah. So you combine martial arts and weightlifting.
I lift weights. I do martial arts. I swim.
Wow. So you do the whole rounded.
I'm out there getting it. But so that's what I say. I don't try to swim, Lake Erie in one day, lift 10,000 pounds and roll 30 rounds of jiu-jitsu in one day. I go in there, and some days the swim is just light, kind of relaxed, zoning out while you're in the water, and then you're done. Some days I'm sprinting in the pool. You really got to pick and choose and think about the long term.
Sorry, listeners, the cat's automatic feeder just went off. If you hear that,
and he's on it too. Look at that.
The other one is more scared of people. But here he comes. He's gonna try to go on the outside one.
Okay.
All right, so that's good. Do you do nutrition stuff? Are you
a pretty basic nutrition? Yeah. My wife is really on the nutrition. I'm like an 80-20 guy. If I see a Danish and I'm in a Danish mode, I'm eating it. Yeah. If Christmas holiday, whatever just passed, I probably ate 300 cookies. Yeah. just
but you probably do enough fitness that I think I'm an 80-20 person too.
80-20 is great.
I was a little more strict this month just because I was like, okay, I'm getting really into it. So I want to have a good start. Around Christmas, my rule was I'm going to behave every other day. Because on Christmas, you get this Christmas party, your friend's Christmas party.
Oh, there's 6 of them.
6 of them.
And everyone's got cookies.
People bringing cookies to work. So what I did was, okay, I'm going to allow myself to have the cookies New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but all the other things around it, I was like, it's not Christmas yet. Yeah. So that's how I was able to have discipline there. But overall, once I get past the first month of getting back into fitness, I think I'm an 80-20 person as well.
I think 80-20 is a great split.
Because you don't starve yourself.
Who's supposed to be perfect? You know what I mean? And food, sometimes eating good food is what you need. And if you're out there dating, a lot of times you find yourself going to get food with a person. Like, live a little bit, but just don't let it take over. And what I do is me and my wife, we just know what foods we eat. So we just buy the foods we eat. And then when we're hungry and we want to binge something, all there is to binge is like blueberries and mangoes.
That's what I do too. I keep my kitchen and my refrigerator really healthy. But when I'm craving that, like you said, the 20%, I'll go out. This is Philadelphia. I'll go out and get a cheesesteak.
There's something to eat. Yeah, there's some junk food very, very close.
What I said in the beginning, there's not that many fit men in Philadelphia. I can understand why. There's a lot of ways to.
There's pizza and cheesesteaks and weird shit.
The food here is good. I gotta say.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
All right. So my next question. Okay, so I was thinking, this is more of like a philosophy question, sort of, but it's also a practical question. I was thinking a lot this week about how when I was in my 20s, I had a lot of self-hatred. But as I'm in my 30s, I have a lot of confidence now.
Great.
And I'm wondering if I had to explain to somebody why, it would be difficult for me to. I have to do some thinking about what happened in my life to develop confidence. So if somebody asked you that, you seem like a confident person, unless you hate yourself and you're the wrong person to ask, but you seem like a pretty confident person to me. What in your life, if someone said, how do I build confidence? What would you tell them?
Well, oh wow, that's a good question. So I grew confident over time as you did.
Yes. Okay.
I think why that happens, to answer the first question, is you know more, and you've been around more, and you've seen
wisdom.
Yep, and you've seen like a truly unintelligent person, and you're like, oh, I'm not that. Oh, I'm not. You know what I mean? You've seen like you've just seen things, and you've experienced more, and you realize that, hey, I'm not doing too bad. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad off.
Yeah.
And I think it's going the other direction thanks to the internet, and we could hit on that in a second. But so I think the confidence grows as you grow, and you just know more, and you learn more, and you understand that being perfect. When you're young, you think you got to be perfect.
Yeah.
I always thought your hair had to be perfect. But, this had to look good. Your clothes had to be a wrinkle in my shirt. And then I realized that no one's paying attention. Yeah. No one's ever looked at my clothes and been like, I'm not attracted to you, but that shirt just makes me want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you start to realize all the superficial shit is not even really that important. That's
or if people do pay attention, it's for a split second and then they go about their day.
Yeah. And let's be honest. If you're around the person who's like, I normally wouldn't be here, but your shirt was so cool, I decided that's a pretty shallow person. Yeah. And that's a pretty like lousy person to be around. So I think the more you know, the better off you are.
Also, I think now that I was like, this week I couldn't think about what I would answer to that question, but now that we're talking about it, the wheels are turning in my head. I also think what attributed to me having confidence over time was just radical self-honesty, to actually own up to the things I was doing wrong. Now
that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing for a lot of people to do.
But it builds confidence because once you're aware of all your own shortcomings and all your shortcomings, the way in which you behave, but also in your appearance as well. Like nobody's perfect. Like sometimes it's okay to like be like, hey, I'm aware I have a big nose, but I've grown to love and accept that about myself. You know what I mean?
That's who you are. Yeah.
But more so than the physical attributes is the ways in which behaving and interacting with the world. I think. Funny enough, I don't do comedy anymore because I'm more focused on podcasting and music right now. But in the couple years that I did do comedy, I thought that was a way for me to be, because when you go on stage, it was a way for me to be radically honest. Because when you go on stage, half of the time you're making fun of yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of a healing thing to just be completely yourself up there, own up all your flaws. I mean, I've interviewed comedians on this channel. For some reason, the one coming to mind is Naeem Ali. He said he started comedy. Yeah, he's awesome. He started comedy in his mid to late 30s. And he said one of the first things he did up there was like, I cheated on my wife. I got a divorce. And he just like owned up all his shit. And I think it's stuff like that just being completely honest with yourself that can help you build confidence as well.
Yeah. And as a comedian, there is a mask of your vulnerability. Like when your vulnerability is also a form of entertainment. Yeah. It puts it in a different light. First of all, it allows you to talk about it because the people you're talking to are into it. They're engaged. They're listening. Yeah. But then it also kind of makes you realize like, it's not even that big of a deal. Yeah. One thing I started doing is not going through life as Albert. Yeah. Right? Like, don't think of yourself as the main character all that much. Yeah. Just go through life as like a 41-year-old man. Yeah. And then, just be like, that's a 41-year-old man. He's doing what 41-year-old men do. Like,
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Like, yeah, oh yeah, he's got a hole in his shirt. He's 41. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, Albert's got a hole in his shirt. So just kind of take yourself out, because I think a lot of people aren't paying attention to us.
Yeah.
And we think they are.
I'm having another flashback of our previous podcast. There was a clip I made from our podcast where we talked about how caring too much about what people think is actually narcissism disguised as
caring too much, because
caring.
It all circles back to being on you.
Being on yourself.
Yeah, so it's still all about me. Like they noticed that my two socks are two different, and they're not paying attention. They got so much more shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, oh, man, the confidence thing is tough, because it does come, it's like a fix that has to come from inside. You can't really fake that.
Yeah.
Like, you ever say to someone, hey, you got some food on your face? And then they go, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then they take it off their face.
Yeah.
So they did kind of care a little bit, right? The real winner is the one that says, I don't care, and just keeps on talking with the glob of shit on their face, because they really don't care. If you were around 100 people and you hit them with the, you got something on your face, a lot of them would probably say, I don't care.
Yeah.
But how many of them would really act out what someone who doesn't care would do?
Yeah.
Not that many.
Yeah.
Because I would say I don't care, but I would also get it off my face, because I wouldn't want it on my face. So, it's, I stop caring. The sooner you can stop caring, the freer you will be.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a double-edged sword, though, because I think some people hear that and they think it's like a pass to be an asshole or to be inconsiderate.
Yeah.
I was on a train to New York. I was going to do a show at St. Mark's, and we were on the quiet car. And this fucking kid, speakerphone. Just like doing the thing, right?
Yep.
And, in his head, he may feel like, I don't care what these people think about me.
Yeah.
But that's not when you're supposed to use that. Like, you're being an asshole. Like, what you're doing, just go to the other car and do that. When you say don't care what people think about you, it's like, don't care that you're wearing your pajama pants outside. That's what we meant when we say don't care what people, don't care that you want to do plays when all your friends want to do sports. That's what we meant when we tell people don't care about other people.
Care about what people think of you if you're inconveniencing their peace.
Then care.
But if what you're doing has no effect on them whatsoever,
who gives a fuck?
Fuck them.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Yeah. But I think it depends on the swing, because now you just see like, I feel like I see a lot of over the top, inconsiderate behavior masked as, I don't care what people think about me.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're actually not thinking about you at all until you start talking on this fucking train car when you're supposed to be quiet. Now we're thinking about you. Before, we didn't care about you.
I guess nothing in life is like a black and white answer. You know what I mean? It's not a black and white solution.
No.
It's like, you gotta.
I wish it was.
It would be easier.
It would be way easier.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Okay. So sorry to cut you off, but my next question for you. You've been divorced, right? Is that correct?
No.
You hadn't?
No.
Why did I got
because I have a child I had a child outside of wedlock. So maybe
my question doesn't make any sense then. But I'm going to reframe the question. Okay. My original, for some reason, I thought you went through a divorce. My original question was going to be, what have you learned from your divorce? But we can still use the question. What have you learned from past relationships that didn't work out?
Oh shit.
What's like you don't have to go through all of them because that's very broad, but what's like one major lesson you've learned from a past relationship that's helped you navigate your current marriage?
Yeah, you got to be like I think you got to be honest about how you feel consistently. Sometimes people get quiet because they want to keep the peace, right? Or they feel A, but they say B because it's just easier to go in that direction.
Yeah.
That's when you start to kind of like lose your identities, because it's also like a lot of that stuff is taking place in your own house, right? Or in your own, where you live, where you're supposed to be able to be whoever and whatever and you want to be. I think for me, most of my breakups in the past were all my fault.
Okay.
Either I lost interest or I just wasn't a good partner. I mean, I can say that. I think I'm better now.
Side note, that's the type of radical honesty I'm talking about. That builds confidence. But anyways, go on.
Yeah. But so I think that you got me off track. What were we talking? What did I learn?
What did you learn? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of it, but I think a lot of it would have been smoother if I would have just spoke up and said, "Hey, I feel this," and but I'm very good at being quiet and not saying anything. But then eventually, I'm just like, I just do a 180 and go in the opposite direction, when I probably could have worked things out if I was just more vocal about what I was feeling when I was feeling.
In the past, because I've not all men, sometimes it's the opposite, sometimes it's the woman who does this as well, but I've seen often that it's usually the men that stays quiet about vocalizing their feelings. What in the past made you not want to vocalize certain
Because I was in relationships with people who were not mature enough to hear the truth about what I was feeling and or look at themselves and realize how they were contributing. Boom.
So it's better just to.
If I had a microphone, I would have dropped it.
Why say how I'm feeling if they're not going to listen?
If they're not going to listen,
yeah.
I might as well piss on the wall. If you know what I mean. There's other things I can do to entertain myself.
Yeah.
And that's what guys do. Guys just get quiet because guys, we don't want to fuck with. I don't want to bother. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a ball breaker. I don't want to be like, oh, you said 5 o'clock, but it's 5:15, and now I'm angry. Like I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the police officer. You know, so you just don't. Whatever. It's that they're just being them. Whatever it is, but that shit adds up.
These days, for me personally, it's not that I don't speak my mind when I'm upset in a relationship, but I take a few days to say it. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because I'm in a new relationship right now. We've been together for 4 months. Everything was like super smooth. Obviously, there's no way you're going to have everything super smooth forever. At some point, a conflict is going to come up. A minor conflict came up that we overcame very beautifully. I'm very happy about that. But when it came up, it was me who got triggered by something, not him. He was fine. I didn't speak on it right away. And he knew something was wrong. He was like, are you okay? And I was like, it has nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it. But he could clearly like see I was not being completely honest. But in that case, it took me several days to process my feelings and then speak up because I didn't want to, because I knew that whatever triggered me had to do with a past relationship. So I was like, I need to sit on this for a few days before I react.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you should think a little more before you speak. 100%. You don't always have to have an answer right away. Life isn't a podcast. You don't have to have a fire back right away. Yeah. I think you saying, hey, I got to think about it. I got to talk. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's good. Because here's one thing I know: you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Yeah. Right. If you react out of anger, which is I really try to not do in life in general, react through anger. Yeah. So, sometimes I just need space, but in the past I wouldn't. Now I can say I need space. I can say to my wife, we have a very good relationship. Yeah. Hey, I we'll talk in 15 minutes. Yeah. A lot of times that's enough. Yeah. We're both a little upset. Set a timer. Yeah. We're going to come back to the living room. We're going to talk about it in 15 minutes. Yeah. Usually in 15 minutes, there's nothing to talk about. You're kind of like laughing about it. You're like, okay, so what did you do? What did I do? You like make a joke of it because you just need some fucking time, just to process and breathe. And I also try to give everyone I meet, especially my wife, the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. And my wife, she's not trying to hurt my feelings. Yeah. She's not trying to upset me. She's not trying to make my life more difficult. She's not, that's not the intent. So she's coming from a good place. So we got to talk it out and figure it out. And we do pretty well. We're very communicative, more than I've ever been in any relationship, which also has opened up my eyes to how much work it is.
What allowed you to become more communicative now? Is it because your wife just seemed like a more genuine person, or what allowed you to open up in that way?
Past failures, and she's communicative. Okay. So, I guess I took a page out of her book once I realized her communication style, where you can just go, hey, I got to talk to you about something. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's okay to do. When we first started, I was like, you could just do that. You could just pull someone aside and say, we got to talk about something that happened this morning. Like, you can do that. It's almost like I didn't know the rules. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know I could do that, but I wasn't with mature people who were ready for that shit either. Yeah. But I'm the oldest I've ever been. And I had to get here, like all the scars is how I got here, for lack of a better term. So, if you're a woman, I think everybody knows this. When your guy stops communicating, you're fucked. When we got nothing to say, you're probably over. Right, start loading up that Tinder profile, bitch, because it's not gonna. Because that's when most guys just check out. Whatever. Okay, yeah, whatever. Yep, you're right. Okay, yep, sure thing.
That's rough. If a guy or a girl, feels like you said in the past that nothing they say is gonna change anything anyways. Yeah. So
you just get out of there. Yeah. And
do you do the breakups or do you?
I usually just mail it in, and then the hint is received. I was never a good breaker.
I feel like guys do that. Guys never break up with girls, but they act like assholes so that the girl get brought up.
Because guys are fueled off of a different. I think guys operate for more of like a B, A equals B. Kind of. I'm going to use the term logical, but I'm not saying that women are not logical. And women go a lot off of feelings. Yeah. And we don't do feelings very well. We've never really been conditioned to be good at feelings. You got to have a kid before you're good at feelings. And then all you have is feelings. But so we don't know. A lot of guys don't even know how to communicate what they're feeling, and that's an immaturity thing. It's also probably like what they saw coming up and who was raising them. Right. So I think it's changing now because people are feeling more than they felt in a while. Yeah. And are raising people to feel. But it's going to be a generation and a half down the line. So.
And I think certain things like that are changing about society, podcasting for one, there's a lot of more stand-up comedy, like different things that are allowing people to be more open and honest about, what's actually going on in their head. Yeah. Okay. So next question. All right. So we were talking earlier, you said, social media and the internet, that's a whole nother thing. So this is a good segue question, back to that. You're a father. That's correct, right? I was correct about that. I was incorrect about the divorce. So you are a father.
Yeah.
Do you have any anxieties about raising children in the modern world?
Yes.
Okay.
But you would have had anxiety raising children in the fucking Oregon Trail times too. Like there's always something, you're worried about your kid all the time, the time. Like if you're out there and you think you want to have, just be prepared to always be concerned about something that you have not a lot of control over. Yeah. And it's that alone is challenging.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of anxieties, but my daughters have their heads are screwed on very, very tight. Like they're good.
How old are your kids?
11 and 7.
Okay.
And what the older is maybe a little better at this than the younger, but she can have fun in the moment without like a device or like little stimulation. She can create her own happiness, and you can give her a pen, a pad, a coffee cup, that guitar, and something, and she can figure out something.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me happy. Like, so last weekend we went snowboarding, impromptu. We went to go tubing. She's looking up the hill. She's like, "Oh, Daddy, what's it like? Have you ever done that?" And so I said to my wife, "You want to just give this kid a chance to go?" And then, but that was so enough for her. She was in the moment with her family, and it was great. So that's one thing that keeps me at peace with the whole thing, is that we still have that connection. But yeah, it's scary as fuck. The internet's scary as hell, man.
Yeah.
Grown-ups are losing to the internet.
Yeah.
Kids don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
And the internet's getting better at fucking with humans.
That's actually funny. That's one of my questions later, but I'm going to say it now because it makes more sense.
We're flowing, baby.
Do you have a problem with phone addiction?
No, but I can see how it's 3 weeks away. Let's put it that way. There's times when I was just talking to my wife about it. I said, there's times when I'm embarrassed that I'm on my phone and I'm like putting it away, almost like I'm like smoking or drinking. Like I'm like tugging. I'm like, shit, they're going to know I was on my phone again.
Yeah.
And I whenever I'm not on my phone for a long time, I brag to people. I'm like, I didn't touch my phone all day yesterday.
Yeah.
On the weekends, I usually don't have my phone with me. But during the week, I'm doing comedy, I'm doing podcasts, I'm posting flyers, I'm doing all this. There is a working relationship with the phone, but then there's also like a lot of fun relationships with the phone, right?
Yeah.
And by that I mean watching funny videos or getting caught up in the news, or you know what I mean. Be entertained by it. So it is kind of tough to balance it, but I'm not going to let myself get addicted to my phone.
It's funny because there are good things on the phone. Like you can watch educational podcasts. You can watch things that, make you feel good in that kind of way. But on the same token, it's not good to just feel like you need to be entertained all the time. That's one of the issues that I have with the phone. It's like I'll be scrolling funny videos. They're not really harmful. They're making me laugh. Yeah. But then I become addicted to like, I need to be entertained all the time. Yeah. And I think it's important to sit with your thoughts.
You ever just sit in a dark room and just like exist there?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I feel like one of the reasons I even am a podcaster today is because of my childhood. That's a whole nother, I don't want to get too deep into my childhood, but long story short, I was grounded a lot because I was skipping school. So my dad would ground me a lot because I was skipping school. But weirdly enough, getting grounded a lot, I actually think kind of created me because I was isolated. Like he would take away my phone. He would take away the computer. He would take away the internet. Wouldn't let me go out to see my friends. So there was negatives, but at the same time, there was a lot of positive because I would be in my room just thinking. And too much of that could be dangerous. You don't want to think too much that you get so lost in your own head that you lose touch with society. But you also don't want to be so hooked into society and having every blank, space in your thought filled with entertainment and excitement and joy that you you stop pondering like the bigger questions in life.
Yeah,
Now
we're going to call back. That is one of the beauties of martial arts and how I feel when jiu-jitsu is being done. And I don't want to be one of those guys who just gets on here and talks about that, but it's an activity, and it could be basketball, it could be golf, it could be frisbee golf, it could be parasailing. But you get in these things where like the only thing you're worried about is what you're doing in that moment. Right. And those are very powerful times because, like you said, you're not demanding entertainment from somebody or something.
Yeah.
The phone. I think a lot of people feel the phones are probably going to be the death of us.
Yeah.
And the robots, and because what the phones are allowing the robots to know what we think about when we think about it, and it allows us to be triggered by things that we see.
My phone can't figure out who I am or what I am, because some of the commercials I get, I'm like, I don't think the phone knows my gender, because sometimes I'll get stuff that are clearly for women, like, oh, here's your period stuff. And then sometimes I'll get, sometimes it'll be like, are you not getting an erection? And then recently I got...
well, that's why no one's getting an erection, because of the phone.
Yes.
The young men are not... It's not working. It's because the chemicals are fucked up because of the phone.
I got a YouTube ad the other day sent to me. For some reason, the phone thought it was meant for me. And it was an AI girlfriend. It was like, hey there, big boy.
Yeah,
it was like, as I was listening to it, I was like, holy it actually captivated me. And I was like, I can get why young men are fucked, because it was like, I can look however. It had this really seductive voice.
Sure,
and it was like,
sure.
I can look however you want.
And not only that, some dude's going to pay $10,000 for that at some point. Yeah, I think it goes back to the confidence thing and like knowing who you are and like all that stuff. Like the phone can manipulate who you are, and really, it knows when you're happy. It's like Santa Claus. It knows when you've been good or bad. It knows when you're awake. It knows when you're asleep. And then it just, oh, it's 3:15. She's up. And she's feeling this. Let me show her this. Yeah. I think it's getting that good. And then you stay in it. And, I said this before years ago, but Dave Chappelle said in his recent special, it's fueled off of negativity. Mm-hmm. You usually stay because something got you upset. Mm-hmm. And now you got to read the comments to see like, whoa, hold on. Does everyone feel it? That's usually what gets you. It's never something super positive.
Yeah.
You're never like, I was late for work, but I was watching those dog videos and oh my God, they're so good. Yeah. It's usually like, oh, there was a shooting the other day. You know what I mean? It's never anything like hella positive. So those phones, they're smarter than we are.
But in another sense, it's really our responsibility to take care of it. Because if the algorithm is only picking up on what you're watching and it feeds, like, okay, humans are susceptible to something negative gets them alarmed. We're aware of this now. So it's really up to us to have the and I understand that like we could say, but wait, they're so powerful and the forces are against us. They're doing such a good job at it that we don't have control. Yeah. We don't have the will. But I think there are tools to help people. Like, so for example, I'm fucked when it comes to the phone. I'm very addicted to the phone. I'm addicted to social media. I'm addicted to, all kinds of things on the internet. Let's not name all of them. And for me, I use an app called Opal that, and it sounds like every time I bring this up, I'm like, I swear I'm not like
getting paid by them.
I'm not getting paid by them. I only have 1.5K subs on my podcast. I don't have enough to get promoted by somebody yet. But I started using Opal, which is an app that blocks certain apps and certain websites from your phone. Yeah. And you're only allowed, so I go on Instagram to post my stuff, but it only gives me a very small window of time. Anybody who knows me can vouch that it works for me, because I'll be like, hey, I saw this video on YouTube, and then I'll pull up my phone and be like, shit, it won't let me on YouTube. Never mind, I can't show it to you. It really works. So I really feel like it is our responsibility to find ways, creative ways to get our power back, because we're going to become powerless to this thing. It's a drug.
Yeah. It's we talk about narco-terrorists. There's narco-terrorism on the other end of your phone because it is a drug. Well, it's manipulating the drugs that your brain creates, the chemicals that your brain creates, and it's fucking with you. Yeah, 100%. And most of it's not real. And that's the wild shit. You're into shit that isn't, and well, then we get into AI, and that's wild. But you're arguing with someone that's not real.
Yeah, could be a bot that's designed there to get people to argue. Yeah,
you're arguing with a bot, or you're looking at a picture that isn't something that's photoshopped, something from 15 years ago that someone's telling you was last night. You don't even know which way is up, and you're in that world. I mean, it's like the fucking Matrix. Remember the Matrix when he walks by the really good looking girl and he's like, look again, and then she's got the gun in his face. Yep, that's where we are. You think it's all sweet and all good, and it's gonna be the death.
I guess the other interesting thing, though, is that I guess in a weird way, that was always the case, but it's just gotten way worse because of technology. But in the past, advertisements, like remember those
Pop-ups?
Yeah, those like pop-ups. But even before, like just the way they would add, like when the television first came out and commercials first started coming out, or even before television, there was the newspapers and certain people had influence over the media. So what we're supposed to think and what we're supposed to do has always been something that has been influenced by something more powerful than us, trying to get power over us for financial gains or, power. It's just gotten way worse and easier to become easier, but also easier to see through it at the same time because it's so
if you want
prevalent.
to. I think if you want to. But I think it's the equivalent. Like, you ever talk to someone like, oh, pot in the 60s is nothing like weed is now. I think it's kind of like that. It's like, oh, yeah, you had the TV and you had 4 full channels. Yeah. But now you got the internet in your pocket that can show you a movie from Taiwan. And you know what I mean? So it maybe it's like a similar drug, but it's ramped up to the nines. Like, it's really, really strong. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think that, the grown-up, like I said, the grown-ups are struggling with it. The grown-ups are struggling with it. The kids don't stand a chance. Yeah. That's really it.
Okay, so.
So good luck. Don't have kids. Or no, do. Whatever makes you happy.
Ooh, all right. The next question's pretty intense,
all right,
but it's a good question.
Hit it.
Do you think evil is a real thing?
Yep,
and if it's 100%. Real, do you think people are born with it, or is it something that is created by circumstance?
Wow. A little bit of both. I think everyone's got a little bit of evil in them to begin with, and if it's being fed and worked, it's going to get worse. I think the world's a pretty evil fucking place right now. I mean, I don't know when this will air, but yesterday we had some shit happen in Minnesota, right? The lady.
What happened? I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, no, serious?
No, yeah.
Woman was shot killed by an ICE agent.
Oh my God.
In the street, in the street.
Wow.
In her car, he shot. Now there's a question as to whether she was trying to hit him with her car, or if Now I think he was wrong. I think he was wrong. There's a whole bunch of people who probably disagree with me. Mm-hmm. But I think if you look at we value human life as like a zero right now. Mm-hmm. You turn on the news, if you open your phone or read a newspaper and it told you that there was X, Y, and Z happened and 200 people died, you would absorb it. But after 3 minutes, you would just move on. Yeah. That's a big fucking deal. 200 people died, or, people used to go into schools and do horrible things, right? I don't know what we can say because it's on the internet, but the pew-pewing of people in schools. Mm-hmm. Now you just read that and it's almost just only in America. You know what I mean? It's only, and I think because our evil monitor is through the roof. We value human life zero. And I think you're born with a little bit of it, and then I think it just gets added to. Mm. And then next thing you know, you're fucking Stephen Miller, that fucking guy. I don't know if you're allowed to say that, but next thing you know, you're one of these guys, and you're an evil fucking person. And it's sad. I think it's really sad. I think the world's in a really rough spot right now.
What do you think adds on to people's evil? Is it just the desire for power and money?
Power, greed. Money is the root of all evil. I've been hearing that since I was 2 years old. I'm really realizing that money is not all evil, but most of it.
Yeah, because a lot of people are willing to do things outside of what they would seem.
Yeah, I mean, look at how evil. At some point, someone said, "Hey, let's create a bomb that can take out half a country." Yeah, and someone was like, "Okay." Was no one whoa? Why the fuck do you want to do that? That's some wild shit. Think about what you just said. You want a bomb big enough that we could just knock out Seattle like that? What are you talking about? But they went with it, and they exist now. And at least they tell us they exist. You could have taken all that energy and done something. And I mean the brain power. You could have taken all that brain power and done something way more significant. You did something that you could just kill a whole bunch of people at the push of a button. That's evil as fuck.
And what do people even, I mean, I can speak for myself. I know what are some of the things I get out of money. But what do people even get out of that much money that it's worth committing evil? So for the basic needs, obviously money, I was just talking about this with my last guest. Money can create happiness at a basic foundation level because you need money for food. Yeah. You need food to be happy.
It's a survival
but
amount of money.
But once you get past the basic necessities being met, and maybe a little bit of luxury. You go out for a steak dinner here and there, that type of stuff. Once you get past that and you're at the point where you just have more money than you know what to do with, what do people get out of that? Like, I wonder what...
Agree. Yeah. Like what... One thing I know about happiness, you're talking about happiness, right? One thing I know about happiness is that if you're not happy, there's nothing that's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
You're just going to be depressed in a Ferrari. If you have suicidal thoughts, you're going to have suicidal thoughts with a Rolex on. If you know what I mean? If you're unhappily married, you're going to be unhappily married in a $60 million house. Like, it doesn't really create that much happiness. You know,
I heard someone say, "Don't become a fat guy in a Mercedes," which means don't spend. What it means is don't spend all your days working at a desk to make a lot of money just so you could be a fat guy in his Mercedes.
Right.
You know?
Like, yeah, and I'm with that. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, a guy like Elon Musk. What more do you need? What else are you getting? Like, is it? I don't get it. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean, if you gave me $5 million, most people would never see me again. I would just disappear. Do
you think maybe it's just the power of the ego wanting to be the most powerful, influential, because here's the thing, as much as I'm criticizing it, I also wonder if all of us have that a little bit in us. It's just that some people take it to the nth degree. There isn't a little bit of Albert Davis that's like, I want to be one of the best comedians in Philly.
I want to be one of the best comedians, but I don't want to hurt anybody.
In the process. You wouldn't be willing to hurt people.
I don't want to do puppet master shit with people's lives, which is kind of what I'm thinking about. I just think about the current state of the world and the death and how easily we just end life and then we just keep on moving. That's what I feel like it's evil. Now, I know throughout history, I mean, we used to sell people in this country, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I know that the evil has been very high. So what is it that what makes one feel like they're superior just cause? You know, I don't really get that. And I was thinking about that a lot because I was thinking about kind of like the state of the world and stuff. And like, I'm not a religious person. I'm an atheist. Mm-hmm. And there's people there that do have religion and it gives a playbook of how to go through life. And a lot of people are into that shit. And a lot of the religions say things like be peaceful and take care of your neighbor and don't be a dick, for lack of a better term. And I wonder how many people are really trying to be that or if they're just sidestepping it under some bullshit. You know what I mean? And I feel like more people are just sidestepping it. But it is wild. It's just weird. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. People are fucking evil.
Yeah.
People are, and I think now we're seeing some of the evilest shit that we've seen in a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think it's, I guess to like cap off what we said, it's a little bit of both. It's like something we're born with. We all have the capacity for evil.
And we also have the capacity for peace and love.
We also,
right? Yeah. Peace and love doesn't sell tickets, I guess, is really what it is.
It's crazy.
Right?
It is like, you know, we live in Philadelphia. Pretty much every single day, especially as a woman, every single day when I'm walking down the street, I'm like, I feel bad because I probably give dirty looks to people that don't deserve it all the time. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, because I've had experiences living in Philly that have shown, okay, some people just don't give a shit about other people. I've had things robbed from me. I was assaulted, like I was grabbed on a train station once. So literally every day I'm like, which person is so corrupted that they will rob from me or hurt me in this moment? And I'm just like always on edge, walking through the city. And I'm not even sure if that's some, I was talking about, potentially moving back to New Jersey when you first got here. One of my thoughts was, oh, well, when I move back to New Jersey, that's something that I won't have to worry about. But from what I understand, even like in Jersey, like there's crazy shit going on.
There's crazy shit going on everywhere. Yeah, people, no one's exempt from being a wild motherfucker. You know what I mean? I think it's hard being a female in the world. It's hard being a human in the world. It's hard being a kid in the world. I don't know. I don't even know if he asked me a question, but just off of that, there's evil people lurking in this world, and some people have nothing better to do than to want to get over on somebody. I think there's more evil. There's more like white collar evil that I feel like, insurance company. Right. We all know the guy, Luigi, man. We all know that. We all know how that was very polarizing. But like people taking things, companies ripping you off, getting over your insurance company, fucking you over, the court system fucking you over for some reason. The police officer who pulls you over, now you got a $400 ticket because
Here's a good example. Last year I had really bad credit. I'm still trying to fix that credit. I needed a laptop because I podcast. My last laptop broke. I don't have enough money for a new laptop, especially a good one that's going to be able to edit videos. Right. They're thousands of dollars. Yeah. So I looked for a leasing company that could do like a rent to own type of thing. So you pay monthly payments. Obviously, I understand they're going to charge some interest. That's understandable. I figured maybe $200 I'll end up paying in interest. And for my situation, I get it. I signed up for this laptop you're looking at right now that's recording this podcast. Beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's a $600 laptop that probably cost me $2,000.
Because they got you on the...
And they didn't really explain that in the fine print.
Of course not.
They had two different leasing companies. And I'm not going to name the companies. To be honest, it's not even that I don't want to shout them out. I kind of do want to shout them out now, but I actually can't even remember their names at the top of my head. But it was like something in the fine print that they made it really difficult to see that I was renting it from the store, but this store used it from a different company. Yeah. So all the facts were in there. I thought I was going to pay like a $200 fine or a fee. Yeah. I ended up paying like 4 times the amount for this.
Now, why is there even why are you even allowed to have fine print on a fucking contract like that?
Yeah.
Like, why are you allowed to have print so small that you can't even see that you're supposed to read it? And that's like white collar fucking evil.
And what's evil about it is they take advantage of people who need the laptop. I'm like, I need this laptop for what I have to do. And because I'm that desperate, I'm willing to pay for, I wasn't willing to pay 4 times. I would have just not podcasted for a few months in hindsight. Yeah. Or I would have just done audio only and no video or something for a few months while I saved up for one. But that's exactly it. They're like, oh, this person's desperate. Let's charge them 4 times the amount.
Yeah, it's like white collar terrorism. It's like white collar terrorism. You know
it's almost like if a girl was like, oh, this guy's desperate for pussy, so I'm gonna treat him seriously. Yeah. It's like this guy. I'm gonna get as many dinners as I can. This guy's a fat loser. He's desperate for pussy. I'm going to
work this dude over,
rip him off all his money,
get his friends,
treat him like shit, cheat on him with other guys, because that's how desperate he is. So that exists. People will milk a lot out of you.
No, that they do. I mean, and it's like everywhere. I went through the Easy Pass. Mm-hmm. My Easy Pass just didn't get picked up. I have Easy Pass. They take the money all the time. They add a $50 fine. That's crazy. So for like a $3 toll, you telling me that the convenience fee is I don't know what 50 divided by 3 is, but you get it, right? Is like $20-some, $18.
Yeah, that's cray.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's so inconvenient of you to drive through a thing.
Yeah, and then I got to go and do all this stuff, and they make it a nightmare. People are getting over on you, and that's evil. In my opinion, that's evil. There's one time they towed my wife's car. They towed her car. Mm-hmm. We get down there. We got down there before the car got there. Yeah. Then, long story short, what they put you through for like parking in the wrong spot it's a fucking nightmare. Yeah. And what they did was after a certain time, they stopped letting people get their cars, but the people were waiting in the lobby before that time. So they were just like, all right, motherfuckers, you're done. And these people just couldn't get their car. That's fucking evil. Yep. Why are you treating people like that? What are you getting from that? Where's the win? Who wins? No one likes you. This guy can't get to work. Now it's, sometimes people can't get to work with the car, but now they don't have any money, so they can't get the car out of the pound. Now the pound's giving them $30 a day, fucking run on that money. That's evil. That is just fucking evil. And I feel like it's everywhere, man. I was talking to Jeff Roser last night and Neil Wood. We had a show at Punchline. Mm-hmm. Like, why's it got to be like this? Like, why is it like this? I don't understand it.
And I guess sadly, I hate to say it, if it's gotten this bad, I guess evil is a pretty dominating force. It's evil a force wins. That really takes over people. I don't want to say evil wins.
I think it's currently winning.
It's currently winning, but I want to try to have like more hope than that. But I guess it's a very dominating force that is influential over a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You watch like when you watch, the politicians are the evilest of them all. I mean, you watch those motherfuckers on television, the way they talk and what they say, and it's like you're just an evil motherfucker. Like you don't even get it. Even just like how much you lie to us. That's like an evil thing. You just bold-faced lying in front of all these people.
And I guess it comes down to, like we were saying, it's all in the face of wanting that like fame and recognition, because a lot of politicians do it because they want to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
They don't care, I don't want to say all of them because I don't want to speak for every single
say all
politician.
of them. I think they all suck.
Even like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
you don't
sucks.
trust.
Yep.
You think he sucks?
I guarantee he's got more money than we realize.
Yeah.
And he works a job that pays like $140,000 a year.
Yeah.
And somehow he's got a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Go figure that one out. But I think they're all evil. I think they get in it for the right reasons. There's no reason to keep that job for 20 something years. Get some new blood in there with some new ideas, some new ways of thinking, some new technology. Get your old ass out. And, but no, people stick around forever and it corrupts. Power, it's guess power corrupts, right? Isn't that what they say? So you got some power. It's like this, right? You live in a life where you never have to wait in line, or you get this job. And now you got this job. You never have to wait in line. Someone drives you around. People are nice to you. Your kids get to go to cool schools. And then in like a handful of years, you're supposed to give that up. And they're like, I don't want to.
It makes people
lose this shit.
It probably makes people feel special in some kind of way. Like I get this special treatment.
Mr. Senator Davis, come right in. Oh my goodness, you don't have to wait. Yeah, thank you. You get pulled over. You call the chief of police directly. Just these
but at the end
perks.
of the day, what's winning the respect of those people? It's just money. It's not like they're any some of these people are ugly. They're not talented. They're not very intelligent. They're not good with words. They're not intelligent. Yeah. They just have money. So that's the thing. It's like this green piece of paper or this digital numbers and nowadays. I mean, it makes people feel like there's something that they haven't,
Yeah. I don't even know if could you create a world where money didn't exist? Could we ever go back to not using money? I don't even know if that's possible. Probably not. Because just like you couldn't create a world where the internet doesn't exist. You can't go back now.
You can't go backwards. I don't know the history of money. I think it would be really interesting to look that up. It would be cool if I had an assistant like a Jamie right now to look that up. But I think the history of it is that people were just trading services and goods, which makes sense. It makes sense to trade goods and services.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
And then they started.
But I have a feeling that if we blew up society today, but some baby humans survived and there was no computers and they had to start from scratch, it would be the same thing. They would probably, the human brain is designed to make things better. They'd probably make things better and then better, you know what I mean? But want to improve their surroundings. They would eventually create items and create goods and services, and they'd eventually get to money. They would eventually get to the same place.
I think that if you ran this thing back over and over, it's always going to end in the same spot.
Yeah.
It's always going to end in the same exact place. And, maybe we're not as smart as we think.
Maybe it's time to blow it up. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe we're not as smart as we think.
Yeah.
Because it is weird that we have the blueprint of what worked and what didn't work in the past. And if you pay attention, we're doing a lot of what didn't work in the past. So what the fuck is going on?
We're a slave to. Then I guess evil is really just we're a slave to our emotions. We're a slave to feeling a certain way. You know what I mean? We don't see the big picture. I guess we are a slave to our feelings. Yeah. Just like we're addicted to our phones, we're a slave to our feelings.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, look, at best, for my generation, you can get 100 years on this planet. At best, right? Yeah. Maybe get 105. Those last 5 years, you're not even there for them, right?
Yeah.
The last 20 years probably kind of suck because you're on your way out. Why you got to be an asshole? You get this small, insignificant period of time on this planet. Why you acting like, you know what I mean? Why you got to be an asshole? Why you got to ruin shit for people? I don't know. I just right now I'm very
cynical about things.
I'm very upset. I'm upset a lot of the days. I'm angry. I'm not upset. I'm angry a lot of the time. And like, this woman got shot in the streets of. I say this every time someone gets killed by law enforcement or police or something like that. Every American should be very concerned when any American is killed by an authoritative figure, police officer, state trooper, FBI agent, CIA, DEA, armed, whatever it is. Everyone should be concerned because once you can just start killing people, like this guy's not going to get in trouble. He shot this woman in the street. He's not going to get in trouble. Every American should be concerned with that. Even if you think she was an evil person, you should all be concerned because they can shoot her, they can shoot anybody else that they want, and they'll get away with it. And that's how I feel right now. I've been in a bad mood for a while. Did I hide it well?
What's that?
Did I hide it well?
No, it's okay.
I'm not in a bad mood. Just I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
So if that's true, which I don't know, but let's, for the sake of the conversation, if it's true that things are going downhill right now, what could somebody like you or I do to keep our peace in that?
Move to the middle of the woods. That's my plan.
Yeah.
Me and Sammy, me and my wife, we'll be out in the middle of the woods, making fires, eating animals.
Get in touch with humanity again.
Yeah, be a human. Enjoy each other's company. Maybe the phones don't work. Maybe that's cool. We don't get service out here. We were in Montana. There's no service.
You know, it's like a fucked up thought, though, is imagine if everybody catches on and starts moving to the woods, and then before you know it, a new society is created where like the greed starts happening in the woods society. Yeah. Like they don't have a phone, but they're like fighting over their berries. Yeah, like her tribe, like they took the berry. You know what I mean? It's like maybe there's just no way to escape it.
Have you ever read like the script, like the Bible, Torah, shit like that?
I started reading the Genesis, the first one. I almost finished it, and then I stopped. I want to go back to it. I wouldn't say it was boring. It was wild.
It's a lot of fights. Yeah. It's mostly fights.
Yeah.
By groups and tribes of people. It's mostly them fighting, which whether you believe in God or you think it's God's word, one thing it does let you know is the people that were alive back then were fighting.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of
that's a shitty
fighting, especially in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, the Old Testament. Like it's a lot of conflict.
That's why it's like, speaking of religion, it's a shame that some people are, 'cause I know you said you're atheist, but it's a shame that some people are so anti-religion that they're unwilling to read those texts and learn from that.
I think I'm anti-religion because I read those texts and learned from that. But
did you grow up religious?
I did. I grew up. I hung out and was in circles with Jewish people and Christian people.
Okay.
So I know both pretty well. My mom's I'm black and Jewish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't practice anything. I don't. I guess I would be culturally Jewish for whatever that's worth. But I read the books. I know the studies. I know what people say. I know what the philosophers say and the theologians and and I'm like, this isn't for me. I'm not gonna say this is not for me. This is not for me. The logic is gone, and the actions, how people are acting, doesn't mirror this. And I think you use this as a tool, more of a tool to oppress and control than to really live a better life.
Okay.
Now, with that said, I've been around some really good Christian people who I think really believe that stuff and tried to be the best they could. I've been around really good Jewish people. But what I found is the masses are really into just controlling somebody else.
But maybe, to play devil's advocate, maybe it's not the religion's fault. Maybe it's the people's fault. Like maybe there is some good intent behind some religions. Like you're saying, you met some good Christians.
I think there's good intent.
Maybe it's that, like we were saying, evil is such a dominating force that maybe even within a community of people trying to do good, the evil still seeps in. It's impossible.
Oh, it does. Oh, it definitely does. Yeah. Like there are people doing, like in church, they're doing evil shit. We all know what it is. We've been around long enough to know. There's people in the building of the person you're supposed to, they're doing evil shit. You know what I mean? So the people had a good amount to do with my decision to not be associated with any religion. Absolutely. Because I look at the demeanor. I look at the club I was considering entering. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. No, it's not, that doesn't work well for me, you know? And I really don't think that people believe as much as they pretend like they believe. I don't think that's true.
Okay. Just
my take on it.
All right. So to transition to the next question, not that I had any issues with your answers, but I'm just like, okay, let's go to the next question. Okay. I have two more questions for you. One more question for you, actually, because we already answered the question about, are you addicted to your smartphone?
All right.
Okay. So a self-awareness question. I like to throw self-awareness questions on my podcast. Reflecting back on this past year, so we're just into 2026 now, so I guess for you it would be 2025. What do you think is something in your life that held you back then that you want to work on for the new year?
2025?
In 2025, what's something that you felt held you back from growing in some kind of way that in the new year, the projected new year, you want to work on changing?
I think we kind of talked about it. Just taking yourself is maybe a little too seriously in this whole grand scheme. We're all very insignificant. Even the significant people are very insignificant, super insignificant. And instead of thinking to myself, I was like, I don't want people to think that Albert is a da da da. I'm a 41-year-old dude. Just go and do the things that 41-year-old dudes do, and you'll be fine. If you see someone you want to say hi to them. If you have a question for someone, ask a question. If you need to stand up for someone, stand up for someone. You're just a 41-year-old dude going through this. Or don't take yourself so seriously that you don't take any risks or expose yourself to anything. That would be my biggest thing.
You think last year you struggled with like taking yourself too seriously?
Yeah, kind of being like, oh, I don't want. Yes. And understanding that, like, you're taking yourself, this is me talking to me, like, you're taking yourself so seriously. You're not doing the things you need to do or want to do because just go do it. Go do it.
What would be an example, like, of something you wouldn't do because you were afraid?
Something I wouldn't do. Now, I've probably broke out of this over the years, but like when I was younger, I wanted to act. I wanted to be an actor. I was afraid to even let my family know that I wanted to be an actor.
Okay. I
was fearful because I knew like it wasn't going to go over well with them. Since then, I've done some acting. I've been on TV and commercials. Have you done it recently? Yeah. Have you not seen me on any commercials? You don't watch TV?
I don't watch TV. I do follow your Instagram, but I kind of just like pass through. Yeah. I don't necessarily like.
Yeah, you'll see me on like TV doing something. I'm not like fucking Detective Stabler out here, but
I know you do modeling, so I've seen you modeling for certain companies. Yeah, and then but I didn't see.
Yeah, there's times I'm on TV and in commercials. Yeah, sometimes you watch a Phillies game, I get texts all the time. Hey, was that you? Get out of here! Yeah, you have to pay attention.
I don't watch TV anymore.
Well, now whose fault is that?
So we got to get you on the YouTube commercials. Yeah, because I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting.
I was selling flooring on YouTube. Like
really?
Maybe, yeah. Wow. But so like that was something that I normally wouldn't. I was afraid to even let people know I wanted to do that. You know,
it's funny you say that because like I'm a musician. I make money doing music performances. I teach private piano lessons. I love what I do, but I feel like I need some supplemental income to support myself because it's hard to make a living doing all those things.
Yeah.
I do substitute teaching part-time, like 2 days a week. Okay. I don't like it. Not because, and it sounds selfish. I don't want to sound like I don't like school or don't like the kids. I do like the kids. I don't like school, but I do like the kids. But I don't want to do it for 8. I think, and that maybe we can like finish the podcast talking about that. Like the way schools are set up, I don't think are productive for kids. But we'll get to that in a second. I want to find that some supplemental income that is something that I actually like doing. And I thought of doing stuff like that. Like I'm like, I do podcasting. You know what I mean? Like it would be fun
you could be a voice actor. You have a very good voice.
Thank you.
So you could just, you have the equipment for it. Yeah. You just build yourself a little studio, like a little more soundproof. Yeah. And you could, they'll send you scripts and you would.
And I heard that there's a lot of like production companies opening up in New Jersey. So I'm like, maybe I should like build a little portfolio and tell them I do podcasting. I'm comfortable on camera, that type of stuff.
The only problem is probably in 5 years, a computer will be doing all of these jobs that you want to, right? Because why hire someone when you can get an AI bot to walk down the street
with a perfect voice?
Exactly. You know what I mean? But you could do that, absolutely.
But going back to, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like, because you have kids, do you feel like the schools are not very motivating for, I don't think sitting in I'm sorry, but I don't think, and I am substitute teaching because I need the money and I don't know what else I could do 2 days a week. That's going to be like a little supplemental income. But I don't think sitting in a room with barely any windows with those like white walls and those like cold
being told
floors
to be quiet
for 8 hours,
asking to go to the bathroom
8 hours a day. Yeah.
I think there's I used to do a podcast with Jay Yoder, who is a teacher. And I think that the school system, I think schooling sucks. First of all, it should be year round.
Yeah.
You don't need 3 months to forget everything.
Yeah.
You don't need that. It should be year round. The school day should be way shorter.
Yeah. 4 hours. Yeah. I was fine with 4 hours, but by the end of that.
Think of this. When you start paying for education, you go to college, you get one class Monday, Wednesday, Friday for an hour.
Yeah.
So I think every other day is a better way to learn. You don't need to do it Monday, you don't need to do it every day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. That's the normal schedule. They need physical activity should be done once, maybe twice a day.
Yeah.
Because they're a young mind, they're a young body. Just like I talked about the energy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't teach someone who can't sit still. And if you have dogs, which I had 3, we were talking about that earlier, you got to tire them out before you can train them.
Yeah.
They have to be exhausted. If not, they want to chase a squirrel. You got to tire them out. I think we do too much of sitting in a desk.
Oh my God.
Staring at a piece of paper. Our posture, everyone's posture, they're all hunched over, bad posture.
Yeah.
They're not really, they're learning to conform. They're not learning to create brains, in my opinion.
It's funny, when I was in school, and this is a call back to the beginning of the conversation when I said I was grounded a lot. I was grounded a lot because I kept skipping school. And I was told back then that that was bad. But in hindsight, I'm like, actually, I think it was the smartest thing I ever did was skipping school. Because I didn't like it. Like, because of all the things you just said, I was like, because at that time in my life, there was a lot of trauma going on in my childhood. My mom had a severe mental disorder. She left the family. So I was like 9, 10, 11. As a 9-year-old kid, to tell me to sit there all day when I have all these like racing thoughts about what's going on in my
inside.
I'm dying inside. And I'm not able to pay attention. I think skipping school was actually like the most intelligent thing I could have done back then.
No one gave a fuck about your feelings. If you would have pulled someone aside and be like, hey, I'm going through some shit, they would be like, we don't give a flying fuck. I think that I'm with you on that. It's not the most positive thing. I talk to my kids and I'm always like, tell me something good that happened today in school. Sometimes it's like I existed. Yeah. That's the answer, is I existed. And I do think it's not that good. I think they're teaching the wrong things. Yeah. They should teach people how to like buy houses and how to like invest. I always thought you teach people graphs in math class, but you don't teach them how to look at like stock market stuff. Yeah. You don't teach them how to look at the I think of Fibonacci's they call it, but you don't teach them how to look at these things and learn how to make money. I bought a house. The person who taught me how to buy a house was a person who was making money off of me buying a house. Yeah. That seems a little fucking backwards, doesn't it? It seems like I probably got worked over a little bit because I didn't know what was going on. So I don't think they teach them the right things. And I also think there's always a bit of a conflict between teachers and students. Not all of them, but I think there is a little bit of like control, dominant. That's because that's what I experienced. I know there's a lot of times when I was like, I felt like I was in competition with teachers, or I was like paying the price for something they experienced. And, now I know teachers, and some are good. Some probably should definitely get another job. Yeah. And I'm not talking about any teacher. I just want to say, it's not Jay Yoder. Jay Yoder's a friend of mine. He's a teacher. We had a podcast. He talks about teachers. I'm not talking about him. But I know teachers, and I know that they're not all what you think they're supposed to be. And I think schooling sucks. Yeah.
It's
really horrible.
Doing the substitute teaching was kind of a validating experience for me, because I'm like, the reason I left this as a kid is because it sucks. Yeah, like as an adult I'm doing this in a different role, I still don't want to be here for 8 hours. 4 hours I could do. Yeah. 8 hours is too much. And I think it's also designed around, again, money is the root of all evil. They don't care what's best for the kids, because at the end of the day, they need the adults at work for 8 hours. Yeah. So they got to put the kids there, even if it's not good for them, even if it's going to create more stupid adults by putting them there.
And I think school, I think it lasts way too long. It starts way too early and lasts way too long. Yeah. No one else can. When I was in corporate America, I couldn't do that. Yeah. I couldn't be there at 8 and be sharp all the way through. And then you got some kid who's like, probably has ADHD, probably has a shitty diet, ate too much sugar, didn't get enough food, didn't get enough sleep. Someone's beating them. And now you're like, now come here and conform to what we say is the right thing to do. That's kind of stupid.
And to like further your point, to add on to that about what are they even teaching? The most valuable thing that I actually remember learning from high school was my home ec class, where I learned how to sew, because I've saved so much money on like they taught home ec, and I actually was around for that because I thought it was fun. As an adult, I can't tell you how many times like the cat scratched the couch, and then instead of getting a new couch, I've saved so much money sewing things back together. My pants, like I don't have to go to a tailor, so I get large pants and then I just sew the waist in, to fit my body and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they told us when I was in school, they told us if you don't go to college, you'll probably be a loser who will die broke and be in pain your entire life.
They also don't educate about student loans, because I took out student loans and now I'm in so much debt because of that. They just say go to college at all costs, take out a student loan, and they don't fully educate. They don't teach the kids. By the way, if you take out a student loan, you cannot file that in bankruptcy. You're stuck with that for the rest of your life. Like they don't teach stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That's a racket. I mean, and I see that's white collar evil. Why the fuck you charging people $30,000 to learn? Yeah. To learn enough to navigate life. Yeah. College is expensive as fuck. Like you can't just like.
And by the way, when you say $30,000 to learn, that's in a year now. That's not even the whole thing. It used to be $30,000 for the whole thing. Nowadays, that would be reasonable. And then just for a year.
And look at your like Psych 101. Look at some of the classes you took. Those shits were in college level. Yeah. That shit was like I remember being in class reading Huckleberry Finn. I'm a fucking in college. We're reading Huck Finn. Like, what the fuck is this? But you're paying money for that shit. That's what I would consider white collar evil. Like, okay, let's get these people. Let's tell them they got to go to college. We're tax exempt, by the way. Which what the fuck is that about? Yeah. We're tax exempt, so we're everybody here is rich. The school is loaded, and these people are going to pay for it for the next however many years. Yeah. I think if you're a university that's tax exempt, I think you should have to do way more in the community. Same with churches and mosques and synagogues. If you're going to be tax exempt, you got to do a lot for the community, and you got to be able to show it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. Like there should be free camps. There should be free food. There should be free activities. There should be seminars. There should be, and maybe there are, and I don't know about them. Yeah. But if there's not, which to my knowledge there's not, there should be.
You know what else sucks? In my college, I was a music student. There was one year where they needed a professional piano player to play for one of their cocktail events. Mm-hmm. They hired me and paid me, and I was so happy about it. Then the next year, they said, wait a second, let's just use one of the free students. And they stopped, because I was, a senior at this point, so I was more advanced. Yeah. They said, let's just use the freshmen. Yeah,
some freshmen who need
They'll be excited just for the opportunity. And it's like, what the fuck, man? You guys were able to provide a job, a useful job for one of your students. You had the money to pay it. It was like a cocktail event with steaks and stuff like that. Yeah. They were having like steak dinners and all. Pay the kids, like or pay one of the more professional kids. Don't
that's white collar evil right there. That's what I call white. Yeah. That means someone sat in a meeting and was like, actually, what if we I got a couple of freshmen that would do this for less.
Yeah, or free. They did it for free. Yeah.
And they were like, well, let's do that.
They wouldn't let them put up a tip jar either. Because that's the other thing. It's like, hey, if we put up a tip jar, at least we'll get something. They would say, they'd say, put the tip jar. It looks bad. It's like, oh, it looks like what you're.
Bad, like someone's trying to generate revenue that looks bad.
Yeah, or it makes it obvious that you're not paying them, and that's why they have to put a tip jar up.
Now that's the evils that I'm talking about. So you have people in debt. People with sociology degrees in debt for $90,000. What? How could you? College should do this. They should get rid of certain majors. Yeah. Get rid of that. How can you with a straight face accept this money that this person doesn't have and be like, you're making a great choice, son or daughter, whatever. Yeah. And then good luck getting a job, but we got you for $90,000, so we don't give a fuck. That's like selling beans to someone. Tell them they're gonna get a beanstalk, right?
When I did do stand up, I had a bit that actually people liked a lot. It was about how I felt college ripped me off, and I was a double major. I studied Spanish and I studied music. I was like, and now I owe the government $100,000. I'm like, so what am I gonna do? Like the government's gonna show up at my door and I'm just gonna sing La Bamba? Like what am I? Like what do they want? Like what?
Yeah. That's the evils. That's it. And then we're getting It's a racket, and I think we got a lot of that evil shit going on, and it's really shitty.
Okay, so I do have to end shortly because I have some private piano students to teach here. I want to try to end on a positive note. Okay. So I'm gonna throw in one more question.
Get positive, Albert. Let's go.
Through all the shit, what does give you hope?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Nothing.
Next, no. Well, I'm raising people in this world.
Okay.
And that's where the hope is. You know what I mean? And if I could just teach them a little more.
And unfortunately, they're fucked too. No, I'm just kidding.
And make them just prepared for it and ready. That's one thing about kids is it kind of lets you redo it. I didn't like the way school was for me. Now I can't take my daughter out of school, but the way I engaged with her after school and how I talk about what she learned, that can be different. And maybe that can create some positive energy around it. Shit like that. I do like making people laugh. I mean, I don't know when this is going to air. We had a killer show last night at Punchline. It was the crowd was amazing. Everyone was killing. It was awesome. You can't do that and not be high for a bit. And, in my comedy, I talk about serious things and I make them funny. And I think that's a positive thing. I'm
going to keep a lookout for your shows because my boyfriend hasn't been to that many live stand-up shows. And so we've been keeping an eye out for some of our favorite comedians. Oh. But there's nobody we like the big name. There's no big names coming. So I'm like, you know what? Let me take you to one of my friends' shows and we can, rather than
January 15th, Punchline.
January 15th?
Punchline,
is that like a
that's
Saturday?
That's next week. It's Thursday. I think it's a week from today.
A Thursday. Okay. I'm going to see if he can come to that.
Come out.
But if not, if he can't come to it because he works during the week, I can probably just come by
You can
myself.
come to it and bring some friends.
January 15th.
Yeah, I'll put a tip jar on the stage.
Okay.
I'm joking.
I'll keep that in mind.
But yeah, that's what keeps me going. Laughing, smiling. You know, the people I hang out with are good, positive people. And though, you know, the world can be rough, when you're around good people, you can smile.
Yeah.
You know, I have a nephew, I have a niece, I have another nephew, I have aunts, I have family members that nonetheless of what's going on, you can still smile with these people and life is good for a period of time. So and by the way, I'm not rich, I'm not poor, I'm extremely balanced, and I am a happy person. Okay. Just the past couple of days I've been a little angry, but
I'm glad you got a venting session.
Yeah, I'm not walking around like a dangerous person who's going to maybe hurt somebody.
You might be one of the guys on the street that I walk by.
Is
this one of the safe ones? Please don't rob me.
You know what I do? I do have really bad ADHD, and I'm really good at procrastinating my emotions. Is what I call that. So when things would be rough to think, I'll just go, I think about it later. And I think ADHD is a superpower. I can just think about it later. And if you do that 4 or 5 times, like anything with ADHD, it just doesn't get done. Now, some may say, well, that's unresolved, but I like it. And so I can just kind of kick the can down the road and keep it moving.
All right, guys. So that was Albert Davis, everybody. That I really enjoyed that conversation. He had a little venting session.
Yeah.
We ended there on a positive note. If you enjoyed this podcast episode, please don't forget to hit subscribe. Your support helps the channel grow. Also, I'm going to include a link to Albert's Instagram below. If you are from the Philly, New York City, tri-state area, and you want to see him perform, you want to check out his comedy clips on Instagram, that sort of thing, I will include a link there. And that's it. Pranzata Podcast, episode number 163. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Peace.